I'm really excited for you guys to get to meet Scott Rex Hobart tonight, and he's gonna talk to us a little bit about maybe his music journey, maybe where he's at, maybe, you know, love life, I don't know, we'll see.
Probably not.
We'll see where we go. I like it to be more of a conversation rather than an interview.
Cool. Yeah.
So if you want to, right?
Yeah.
Me too. So I think we're set up for success. If you want to start with maybe, let's talk about your childhood.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know, nothing too in-depth, but I know that you aren't from Kansas City. You moved here.
Yeah, I was born in Kentucky and but moved quick to Missouri and pretty much grew up in Missouri, St. James, Missouri. It's my hometown. Little one stoplight town at that moment. They've got a few more by now. And I grew up down there, and then I moved to Kansas City in '89 to go to the Art Institute, and I went there for a couple of years, and then left to pursue music. Have kind of done that and other things since then. So.
Well, that's cool. So it sounds like
That's
you've
how I
always
got
been
here.
a creative.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
What's
Always.
probably your favorite avenue of creativity that you've found?
I really like to draw. I like to draw stuff, and I mean I like to write songs too. but
Yeah.
I like to draw and make things. I work at the rabbit hole and get to make things all day. That's fun too. So.
That's incredible. Are you drawing now? Are there things that we can find?
Well, a lot of the things, like I will draw things and so that I can make them. So what you would see are by now three-dimensional things that were drawn first, that were sketched.
That's gotta be gratifying.
Yeah, it's really fun to just watch that arc happen and involve other people to make things real. It's a lot of fun.
Were your parents also creative?
My mom was, yeah. My mom, she always liked to draw. My grandmother painted and played music. My dad played some music, and he was pretty funny dude, so definitely imaginative, I think. And then, so yeah, I definitely came from some creative genes, it seems.
Did they nurture your creativity?
Yeah, my mom always, encouraged us to do what we wanted to do. You know, it's like just you can do or be whatever you want.
So you started rock and roll, and what drove you to do rock and roll overall? Like, what was the thread that you think solidified you being like, yeah, I'm gonna play rock for right now?
I think I always liked guitar, and that's a lot of guitar-driven music, and so. And I think too, you're just putting bands together and it's kind of bashing around, and that's kind of what you're doing. And I played acoustic too. I do remember at this moment. I don't know really how much it pertains to this exact question, but whenever I started playing guitar, my mom said, "You can play guitar," and I wanted an electric guitar, and she said, "Well, you have to learn how to play the acoustic first. And then if you take some lessons, then you can get an electric guitar." And so I started taking some lessons, just bare basic chords. And then, so I got an electric guitar, and I was way into that for a long time. And I was really into U2 at the time. So I was like delay and reverb and like just making a lot of that kind of sound. And then one day I remember picking up the acoustic again, like that with my old friend, the acoustic, and I just came to this moment. I remember that moment of just how beautiful it felt and sounded to me. So I always liked playing acoustic and so the bass player who was in the big rock band with me, we started really before we had a drummer as an acoustic duo, playing like coffee houses and stuff in Westport and Kansas, just wherever there was a coffee house happening, and we were doing our own stuff. But then we found a drummer who was really loud, and we could be really loud. And so anyway, I like guitar.
Yeah, it sounds like you have such a connection to it. Beautiful.
I like it.
Yeah, actually I was having a conversation with my husband today, and he was telling me about that connection with his guitar and how you have to find a good connection like an old friend. Otherwise, you're not playing from your heart sometimes. You know, you
Makes
can get
sense,
a
yeah.
little dissuaded and
Yeah.
pushed into different directions, especially I think now as a culture where there's just so much information out there.
Yeah.
You just get kind of lost in the sauce, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. I have branched out learning I like to play bass too a little bit now, just for my own stuff, if I'm recording at home or whatever, and so I've really been enjoying that, but I think it all started with the guitar.
Oh, that's beautiful. I feel like that was a cool moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find that playing acoustically sort of makes you a little bit more vulnerable?
I don't know. I guess it depends on how hard you're banging it, probably might be able to scare some folks off with it. It's just, I think the thing that I really like about it is you can really hear the note relationships. I mean, I love cranking and the distortion, whatever, because you can get some other weird note stuff happening there, but it's just really pure and, it's really the bare basics of notes and strings, and that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah. So I listened to all of your albums from Giant's Chair. Well, I mean everything, but Giant's Chairs is really what I focused in. And what I found to be super captivating were your sentiment, your feelings, of heartache, pretty much.
I mean, really, it's all of it was, I guess that's all I've ever written about, really.
Well, I mean, that's a profound feeling, that's so human.
Absolutely. It's what gets written. I've kind of been digging back to some of these songs, and I know what they're about, and I know what the language meant to me and what the images meant to me. But I remember too, also, I would have an idea, a sentence, and then I wanted to deconstruct it to where it was not really very discernible, and so it sounds like it's really random sometimes, but to me, everything meant, it was a code that I had developed for myself, basically, and it was because I was afraid in a way, or insecure about it. I just didn't want my lyrics to be really stupid, so I figured if I just made them so abstract and out here, it would just be. But I think that too, you do that and you find relationships between images or words. I mean, there'll be words that I wrote that I just thought they looked cool together. I just those words look cool, and they, that's different, to me. But then eventually I gave myself permission to write straight story songs, and it was really a challenge and an experiment. It's what can I do with the most, what can I be, how specific can I be now, and so that's how I kind of started getting interested in writing story songs, and really point A, point B narrative. This happens. How do these two people get to say those things to each other, and what happens?
Yeah, that's a really cool.
They're like little plays. That's how I remember them when I started writing country songs. It was like, this is a play, 3-minute play. Right, Chaz? Yeah.
That's awesome. So, talking about plays, I know that you have been writing music for the film industry. Currently, you are doing one for a horror film in the city, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's a film called Super Happy Fun Clown, and it's kind of
Super happy.
Yeah.
I love the name.
But it is, it's a real fun experience. I wasn't really surprised that they asked me to play guitar, and because I knew the guy and he was interested in some theater stuff that I'd written or played live guitar, weird guitar for, and so he approached me about writing this stuff, and I was like, man, I've never written to a film before, which is a totally different experience than just playing a live improv underscore of just mood interludes, But I was like, all right, let's try it. And So I'm really close to having my part of it done. But there's a composer involved too who's taking the sort of basic concept stuff that I'm delivering, and then they're developing that too, which is going to be great to hear. I can't wait to see what they do with it. But yeah, I like, I think that came from the rock stuff too, is just pushing the limits of the, fretboard is with, what you have. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I feel like you are a really well-versed person, creative, because of all these things that you've been able to create.
I've been really fortunate to, be able to, be encouraged to do, these things, and then, fed off of them and have been able to develop. I love it.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
We're working a lot with our youth, and a question that sort of sprung up from myself, potentially for the youth, would be, what would you tell a young person who's going through the struggle of failure?
Well, I feel like you just got to keep making stuff, if it's specific to, something, or with life or anything, you just, it's just got to take another day, one day at a time, and one song at a time, or, one skill at a time, and you just build on that. And then there's, you find your way within that, I'm not, an Eddie Van Halen guitar player, I like to listen to that, but I don't really have the drive to do that. But I'd just say just keep going.
Yeah.
It's pretty basic advice, I suppose.
But necessary.
Yeah, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Do it, and if you like it, if it's what you like to do, then you will. You just keep doing it. That was what too with playing guitar when I was first starting. It didn't seem like a chore to practice. My sister was taking guitar or piano lessons, and it just seemed like a torture. I was like, man, I do not want to go down that road. And but it never felt like it. It was just a discovery, something I was like, wow, what, So do what you like.
I'll also take that for myself. Thank you.
No.
Could we talk a little bit about now your transition to country, honky tonk specifically? First, tell me why you did that transition.
Well, like I said, there was a couple. I wanted to just start writing story songs and very specific language, archetypal country language. Those songs. Like what can I do with those 4 blocks? What can I make? What kind of stories can I tell? And can I tell anything new? Can I make make it? I always like wordplay, and so I think that was a thing that I was trying to do, is just make things mean more than one thing. The rock band was on tour, and I grew up with country music because and I didn't really, it wasn't what I was into, but I just heard it constantly because my mom had a hair salon attached to the front of our house, and so it was just basically the country radio on all the time, and you could hear it through the wall, and then just driving around or whatever with the family, and we were on tour with the rock band, and I picked up a George Jones tape at a truck stop, and almost out of curiosity, although I did want to write story songs, and my mom was in the George Jones fan club when I was growing up, and I was like, so I started listening to that tape, and it was great too because we were playing really loud every night, and then I would just get in a van and listen to the George Jones greatest hits, just as a respite almost, and so, but that's kind of like the very beginning of it, and it was just like, what can I do that the most simplest terms? Can I make songs that you could sing at a campfire? Does that work for me? And so that was sort of how I got started with it. And my mom, when I started playing guitar, she was dabbling in writing country lyrics too, and so I kind of heard and saw her stories, but that was I didn't really even think about that until, I mean, she could teach me some chords, but I was like definitely on my own track at that moment. But when I got back to doing country stuff, I thought that was pretty cool that she'd written all these songs in the 80s, you know, just to try to see if she could do it. And we ended up covering one of her songs, and Mother of a Member of the Band.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe I'll play it for you tonight.
that'd be awesome. That's like a love letter too.
Yeah,
Huh?
it was pretty fun. There you go.
It's beautiful. Tell me a little bit about what is your, now you've played music for your entire life at this point, right?
Yeah, since I was 14. Yeah.
14 years old. Okay, so you probably have maybe like a set of things that you do before a show or before a gig now?
I just try to get there.
Yeah.
Just try to get
Show
there
up on
and try
time.
not to forget the pick or the chords or something like that. You know?
Right. Yeah, because it's like, what does being ready mean?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, most of, like, thankfully now I have like a regular gig. We play once a month, and that's great. You know, I don't have any, like, you know, I'm not trying to get on the road or anything anymore, but it's kind of nice that it's just an automatic thing, you know, it's just built into my month, and I just know what time exactly to leave the house, and I go do that, and, you know, we have a lot of fun, and so there's really nothing like too special
Yeah.
in the prep stuff. You know, I guess if we're trying to do some new stuff and I'm a little worried about it, I just try to breathe and think,
Yeah.
you know what, I'm gonna go there and do this, and it's gonna be what it is, and
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah, I was telling my friend Nick that for me, being ready is just trying to be present,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Because being ready could, my analytical brain's like, being ready could mean literally a million things.
yeah,
And I could do a million things,
Yeah.
and then I'm overwhelmed, and
yeah.
you just are like,
It's visiting all of us.
they say flies are consciousness.
Oh,
So there we are.
that works. I guess we're here.
Yeah, right? I think that is a really cool conversation that we just had, and I want to thank you
Yeah.
for your time and opening up yourself to Heartland Song Network and all of our audience today. But I'm going to give the people what they want, which is to hear you and not hear
Alright, well,
yourself.
Sometimes you say you're coming home. Sometimes you say you're leaving. And I never really know just where you've been. But every time you've ever lied, I've just had to let it slide. 'Cause I can't afford to lose love again. And through all those lies, I never heard you say what you just said. Thank God your words don't mean so much to me. But just in case, take it back before you mean it. Baby, take it back before I believe. And take it back before you mean it. I can't believe you don't love me. Take it back before you mean it. Baby, take it back before I believe. But if you really don't love me, I've got love enough for two. Yes, I do. take it back. Take it back before you mean it. I can't believe you don't love me. So take it back. Take it back before you mean it. Baby, take it back. Please just take it back. Baby, take it back before you leave. All right. Thank you. Just a rag piece of white flag, wind hung to the wire, led on for nothing in an early autumn ice rain. I'm holding on for some kind of long lost love lit fire, but it's gone. Ghost love of dead summer, bound for the cold hills. Road hardened hearts go harder still. Leaving or staying, some hearts just keep breaking. Broken, unspoken, it's true. Staying, some hearts just keep breaking. Broken, unspoken, it's true. Leaving is staying, some hearts just keep breaking. Broken, unspoken, it's true. Yeah, it's you. Well, I just stopped by to drop off the key, but there you go, making those eyes at me. If today was yesterday, well, I might try and oblige. Yeah, yesterday I might have stuck around for a while, got back into that cute little smile. To tell the truth today, though, I don't have the heart or the time. 'Cause I got to get back to forgetting you. It's taking me a while, yeah, I know that's true, but I'm bound to get over all that you put me through. Well, it's only 9 o'clock, but if I come in, you'll probably do me right, but you'll go wrong by 10. A walk away from here's about all I can do, but I got to get back to forgetting you. cut me off, lickety split, and never even asked me what I thought about it. And now you're acting like breaking up never crossed your mind. Well, it's only 9 o'clock, but if I come in, you probably do me right, but you'll go wrong by 10. Walk away from here's about all I can do, but I got to get back, got to get back, got to get back to forgetting you.